sanity. Just lead through it like you should, my God, not reach the shore. All just us, all the devil dance for. Swing a little more, more in America. Swing a little more, more next to me. Swing a little more, more in America. Swing a little more, the devil dance for.
Hello and welcome back to First Impressions. This is a show where my co-host Dash Cooper and I evaluate a new album each week with a few simple ground rules. First, must be an album we've never heard before. Second, we play it once, and then after that, we rate it using a variety of categories, taking our notes. And the album we're looking at tonight is the 2022 album Flamingo Overlord by Trollfest. And we are joined tonight by special guest, the one and only Matt Knowles. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing? I'm glad you put up that call and said we'll listen to whatever somebody suggests to us. And I was like, really?
Famous
Excellent.
last words, man. We're
That's right.
already coming into the point of regret. But hey, you know what? Fuck it. We get to listen to new music we've never heard, and that is never a bad thing. So yes, this one definitely a wild one. And yes, I guess my wife is seeing the hat because I did not get out of the room with this hat. This hat is staying in the office.
She got to go to the grocery store in that hat. That's a grocery store hat.
Why not? When it's 97 out, my neighbors will fully think I've lost my mind. Although they see me running in the crazy heat, and they look at me like I'm out of my mind. So why not just fully prove it? All right. So, yes, tonight.
Hi, Miss Davis.
We start things with a history of the artist and a history of the album, but we got better than that tonight. We have directly tapped into the Flamingo, not the Flamingo Overlord. We don't have Bob Wanka on here because if we did, we were probably going to be destroyed. So, yes. No,
Yeah.
you can wear it to the grocery store. I'll let her borrow it. It's all hers when this is done. Although we have Crazy Hat Day at my work. So when it's Crazy Hat Day, I am ready. I'm ready. And the third graders will be most impressed, I'm sure, if I bust this thing out. I don't know how long I could wear it in a day, but yes, we have an interview. We spoke directly with Trollfest, thanks to Matt, who knows the band. And I'm sure when we talk about our history with this band, he can let us know what he knows and, you know, all of the things that he knows and has learned from speaking directly with Trollfest. So, yes, we are going to start an interview. I asked them, I think it was 10 questions, I believe. 10 different questions. So, my first question, before you were forced to tell the story of our benevolent Flamingo leaders, what was the origin story of Trollfest?
So the cool thing here is I actually was able to tap into Trollfest themselves, and I'm now going to channel Troll Madden. He's going to answer the first question. Before we pledged ourselves to the glorious Flamingo Overlord, we were a bunch of trolls in Oslo making beer-fueled bulk and metal in the depths of the Norwegian forest. Back in 2003, we grabbed our instruments, revived an ancient tongue of Trollsprek, and told ancient tales about booze, alcoholic bees, spelunkers, princesses, and all kinds of troll adventures. We weren't aiming for world domination, just a good time and maybe a keg or two. Then the Flamingo came, big, powerful. He gave us purpose. We gave him riffs. Together, we spread his word, and no one can escape the shadow of his wing. Thank you, Trollman.
Thank you. Yes, Trollman, thank you for your answer. And our second question, what was the inspiration of this album?
So the next person I'm going to channel is going to be Mr. Seidel, guitarist. The Flamingo Overlord descended down from the heavens upon us, clad in white with a shining crown upon his head, and dictated to us when we were to write and play. Like a divine light from above, he gave us the words and vanished them into the heavens from whence he came. When we did not need any inspiration, we were guided by a pink star in the sky, and we knew exactly what to do.
Beautiful. All right.
Fantastic.
So question 3. How did the Flamingo Overlord rise to power? Was it a peaceful election or a bloody coup?
So next up, I'm going to channel the one, the only, Fabio Grimdrop, guitars, and lead sexiness for the band Trollfest. According to highly classified documents hidden within the album pamphlet, his ascent was less of a peaceful election and more of a feather-fueled frenzy. We are talking betrayal, backstabbing, bribes, paid in dubious cocktails, possibly Flamingo Libre, and at least a couple of incidents involving a secret elite group called the Flamingo Gorilla. If this is one individual or militia is still unknown. Let's be honest, totalitarian tropical bird regimes don't rise without a little chaos and violence, or a lot. Mostly a lot of flying feathers.
Beautiful. All right. So question 4. Are there any other birds you believe could overthrow our pink masters?
All right, so for this one, I'm going to channel the one, the only, Trollest on accordions and synth. Could the eagle try? Sure, but they're too busy flexing on coins and national flags. Owls? Too wise to get involved. Parrots might talk a big game, but they're just repeating what the flamingos already said. But could be excellent allies in the future. The Flamingo Overlord rules with a pina colada under one wing and a whole arsenal of destructive weaponry on his prosthetic foot. Anyone who dares to rise up will immediately be vaporized. There's no use in trying.
Beautiful. All right. So this
I love
question.
it. I love it.
If another bird were to topple the Flamingo regime, what style of music would you create as the soundtrack of our new leaders? K-pop, hip-hop, country?
All right, so I'm going to channel one. I got a special guest right now. Going to channel one of their other mascots from one of their other albums, the one, the only, my 9-year-old daughter dressed as Brumlabossin. So, as discussed above, no bird has the power to topple this regime. However, it is said that the Overlord is very fond of elevator music.
All right. So,
That's fantastic.
our next album. Are there any songs that you included on this album that angered our Flamingo Masters that you wish you had left off?
All right, so who am I going to channel next? I'm going to channel the one, the only, Trickadag, the most extreme saxophone player in all of Norwegian Baltic metal. The album, together with our secret track, Smoldering Failure, released on our 20 Years on the Wrong Lane anniversary release, are officially sanctioned by the regime and were personally inspected by Bob Venke, the Overlord himself. If we would have angered the Overlord, we would not be here right now. Make no mistake about that.
All right. So the next one, this song goes back to the fact that we have reviewed 2 of his albums on this show. So at your shows, you dress in the required Flamingo garb. Have you ever considered performing on one leg like Jethro Tull's Ian Anderson to further appease our leaders?
All right, so I'm going to now channel their live drummer. Kelly Chaffley, beautifully good flasm on the drums. Our orders are not as such, but we would not hesitate to do what the Overlord commands of us.
All right, beautiful. Yes, because Ian Anderson, he was the original Flamingo with a bad cod piece. If you've seen some of our earlier episodes, you would know. So the next question: is this album government propaganda, or have you learned to love our pink dictators?
All right, so now I'm going to channel the newest member of the band, Mr. Bosse Bachol, on the bass. There is no propaganda. There is only the pink truth. Everything else is a lie made up to smear the glorious name of our great leader, Bob Venke, Overlord, savior of Featherkind.
Yes. All right. Now, question 9. This question, I'll have to say, might have put me into some deep water. You'll see as we proceed. So now that space travel has become more common for
Hanging out with
rich,
Katy Perry.
have you considered capturing the Flamingo Overlord to jettison him into space?
All right, so now we're going to channel the greatest sometimes tambourine player in the history of Trollfest, Mr. Buck and Bruce Troops. Our glorious leader has already developed a very well-functioning space station and has personally undergone several space travels. This question makes you stand out as a suspect. You have now been listed as sharing revolutionary ideas and will from now on be under observation from the secret Flamingo Society. Any further suspicious behavior will be punished with bird poop on your window. You have been warned.
Yes, I have been warned. They're watching me now. And Babenka.
That's a Mamingo. That's a Mamingo.
Yes, he's angry at me. I'm a suspect, and because of that, this show is in danger. If the doorbell rings, I will not be answering. It's not FedEx. So yeah, I've been warned, and don't think you're safe. Your words on the couch are going to come back to you. Bob Vinka is not pleased with what you said, and we'll discuss this later when we talk about skip tracks. So beware. All right, so the final question that I asked was, if we remain under the rule of the Pink Tyrants, what are the future plans for Trollfest?
So the last one I will channel myself dressed as Captain Chaos. The band has allowed me to speak on behalf of them in my alter ego as Captain Chaos. Under the guidance of our glorious Overlord, we have developed blueprints for something unlike anything we have ever seen before. But these blueprints are still highly classified at this point. The regime is working hard in the shadows. Just you wait and see. Thank you guys for having me on your show.
Matt, who has channeled all the members of Trollfest and your daughter and yourself. That was beautiful. So if you're listening, members of Trollfest, we thank you. We shall continue to give offerings to our wonderful overlords.
Beautiful answers. Beautiful answers.
Amazing answers. As soon as I saw them, it's like, okay, they're here to play. But yeah, I remember when I was talking to Matt, I'm like, I don't know where to approach this interview because I've done interviews where you want to just kind of take it serious because these bands take themselves seriously. But we are talking a band that dresses as flamingos and sings about tyrannical flamingo government. So yeah, this comes straight from Matt when he was telling me, here's the band we're going to be talking about. And he sent me this picture from a concert he was at. So yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, Fabio Grimjack messaged me. He's like, Matt, when this guy asks the questions, tell him to make the questions as weird as he possibly can. I'm like, dude, Ed's going to be super stoked about that.
Oh, yeah. I did my best. I tried to take them to the weirdest level that I possibly could. And, you know, I figured once they said that, I don't have to worry about the band getting offended with me because it was their request. Like, take this to a weird level. So I obliged. And they obliged back. So they matched the energy note for note. And yes, that is beautiful. And I appreciate it. So we talked a little bit about their history in the interview, the Balkan Forest. But reviews. I did look up the reviews of the album. And anyone who said negative things is probably already dead. So what do they even matter? It's Pitchfork didn't review it. They'd have given it some arbitrary decimal, and then that writer would have had his head pecked off by an angry flamingo. So I found that it had mixed to strong reviews, fan reviews stronger than critic reviews, but you know, that's the case so many times with so many albums. The fans know, the critics, you know, you get handed an album about flamingos and you don't know how to approach it. And now they're probably dealing with so much bird poop on their window that they fell into an accident on the freeway, and they're no longer here to disparage this great band and this great album. All right. So
I'll tell you that we do every year on Insymmetry Creations on our blog of Destiny, I'll do a metal albums review, and I believe, and I'm friends with a lot of people in the industry, so even if I pick an album from somebody that I know, it's not like, well, that's that one band that you know kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I think that they were either my top 5 or they were my album of the year when this album came out. Because for me, as a metalhead, I looked back at the listenability of the album and how often I would go back to it, how often I go back to certain songs. And I'll let you talk about that later. But I felt like it was the kind of album that just had something that stuck to you and just made you want to go back and listen and have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah, because there's no doubt you're going to have a good time with this one. But yeah, we'll get to that when we kind of talk a little bit more about this whole album and it's in and of itself. So we always start when we are reviewing a band with our history of the band. Now, Dash and I are going to have a small segment of this, but Matt, you're going to have a lot more to say with your history. So my history is Matt realized I said we would listen to anything, and he's like, aha, let's go. And you still won't ever, you won't be the worst thing we've played on this show. I guarantee you. Whatever you pick, I mean, I don't want to set myself up because these fuckers will pick Yacht Rock and they're just going to come after me. So,
we are picking Yacht Rock.
Bullshit. My wife can't pick. We've already established that. So,
no.
Yeah. So someone's going to find the ultimate torture, but I'm just going to be like, oh, we'll get to it later when we get a chance. I'll treat it like my email and ignore it. So yeah, don't worry. I'll be safe.
Yeah, listen, my history is the same. But I truly, when I posted that we were doing the show tonight, I truly meant that one of the reasons I love this show is because we get to hear bands I probably would have never have heard before. And I can say without a doubt, this was one of the best choices that we've had from a guest or as our friends, and just a drop in. This was one of the best, and so I am excited tonight to talk about this one. So that's my history. 5 minutes of Matt saying you guys are going to listen to this one.
Yeah. All right. So Matt, tell us your history, because I'm sure you have a much deeper history than we do.
Oh yes, I've been a fan of the band for literally I think about a decade. When they think they put out their I think it was their second album. When their second album came out, Wilkeman Folktel Drekafest. And back in that era, there was a lot of, actually, it's probably been longer. That's probably 20 years I've been a fan of them. But there's like folk metal and hoompa, where it's like Finnish polka that's involved in it. Mm-hmm. And Trollfest kind of started there, and then they kind of evolved into what they are today, where you've got extreme spots and blast beats and the crazy Balkan rhythms. I mean, how often do you hear an extreme metal saxophone and it's got a good rhythm and a good, a saxophone and accordion and all that, just good melodies. But I've been friends with the band for quite a while, especially for the longest time with John, who is Mr. Seidel, and then Justine, who is the vocalist Trollman. And then since then, Fabio Grimdrap joined the band, and he actually did a guest spot on one of my albums on Heirs of Isildur versus Tales from Nocturne. He did a small guest spot on there. But just really, really good guys, fun guys. As you saw, my daughter and I at one point actually got a judge's award in a cosplay contest for dressing as Captain Chaos and Brumlebossin. And the host at the time was like, I have no idea who you are, but you guys completely get it. And you are sold on it, so this is why I want to select you.
Yes.
I'll tell you a very quick story, which is actually something that relates to this, which is actually funny. My daughter, when she was 9 years old, wanted to go to see Trollfest, and we wouldn't let her go because the show was in Atlanta, and I live in Central Florida, and she was really mad. And I'm like, why don't you write the band a letter and just tell them how you feel? So she wrote this letter to them. My name is Cameron, and I'm your biggest 9-year-old fan, and I'm really mad at my dad for not allowing me to go to your show. And the band thought it was the greatest thing, and they wrote her a letter back and gave her a bunch of stuff, and they gave her a shirt that was far too big for her 9-year-old body. And we put the shirt on her and took a picture, gave it back to them, and they posted it on their social media, and it had like 1,000 hits in like an hour. She went viral immediately on their socials. And it was a thing where they promised, I'll see you the next time you're in the country and all that. And she was all set to go. She was ready to go. So happy to go to this show that was scheduled in April of 2020.
No.
So you can only imagine how disgusted and disappointed that she was that happened, that COVID happened, and the whole world shut down. So she missed that show. So it took until 2024 where she was actually able to go and see a Trollfest show, and she went wearing the same shirt that the band gave her that now actually fit her correctly.
Fits her.
Beautiful.
But so there was that whole circle there. So they're just good dudes. They're all really good guys, nice guys. Exactly what you'd expect out of people from Scandinavia that are not, trying to, burn down buildings and things like that. Just really good guys.
Yeah.
So that's my history.
Yeah.
That's
See, I knew you'd have a
fantastic.
deeper and better history than just, all right, Matt said we need to listen to this, and we opened our big mouths, so here we are. Yeah, like I said, it only gets crazier from here, our request. And I'm glad about this one. I can't say I'm excited about next week, but we'll talk about that when we get there, because I'm sure I'll piss somebody off. But that's the name of the game. Who can I anger today? It won't be Matt, because and it might be the Flamingo. I don't know. He's always here, he's always watching. So it can always be him. We don't know. So now we always start off after we've given our history. And most of the time it's the opposite. I'm the one that has the deep history, or Dash has the deep history, and the other one of us has nothing. So this time both of us come in blind, and Matt is our expert who's going to guide us through this. So yes, I'll try not to anger my wife, but you angered the Overlord, honey. You're pretty much screwed. Sorry.
Yeah, you angered.
I will do my best to protect you, but when Bob Anka comes, what am I supposed to do? All right, so overall thoughts of the album. Dash, what are your overall thoughts with this one?
Oh, it passed every Dash test from the minute I turned it on. Listen, you're bopping. Even my wife, now Lorena got in on this album. And she's like, this is my new get ready to run marathon pump up album, like ready to run. I loved every minute of this. There's not a song that sounds the same throughout the album. I love all the different techniques they threw in there, like in my favorite song, the second song there, when we get to All Drinks on Me, the pirate song. That's the pirate song, as the girls call it. But I swear there's country music in there a little bit. I swear there's some steel guitar, slide guitar. I loved it. I got They Might Be Giant vibes a little bit out of this entire album, where you're having fun, where you're actually having fun with an album. And that's what music is all about to me. You just have fun with an album, and you can hear the fun throughout the entire album. But I'm my head bopping, I'm dancing, I'm bouncing around the house. I'm when it comes to Pina Colada, I'm doing the tango and moving around. Listen, this album made me get up and move, and that's what I love about it. And that's my overall thoughts: is if an album can do that, you have made one of the best albums I probably ever heard. And I'm serious. That's how good it was. And like, Lorena barely gets in on these albums with me, but she enjoyed the heck out of this one, and I did too. So that's my overall thoughts.
I can tell you right now, if you're Trollfest and you go back and watch this afterwards, you want to go make sure you pull out that pull quote. Dash just said, "This may be one of the best albums I ever heard." Make sure you write it, get it on the back of your next album.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dash from First Impressions. That's a name that matters.
That is a name that matters.
We've said less than nice things. I mean, I usually say the less than nice things. I let myself be the sacrificial lamb for all the hate, but that's all right. I got none today. So, my overall thoughts. I said it's a wild ride that dips and dives through a wide spectrum of musical genres. Musicianship is crisp and tight throughout. I love the double bass drum. I'm a percussion guy, and it sounds like he's going at full sprint half the time when he's playing that. And I love that. And it's whimsical lyrics, made you feel like you're hearing the soundtrack of a Looney Tunes episode on acid. So, I mean, what more can you say? It was a beautiful ride. And my wife, she's actually come pretty good. April will usually sit on the couch with me. I'll say, okay, it's new album time. And there's times where she's like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go on this one. I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna go do anything else but listen to the rest of this shitty album that you have to listen to. But this one, she listened to it. We were going on a cruise, so we were playing videos of the cruise ship while Trollfest was the soundtrack. We're like, this just works. This makes me feel like I want to go on my vacation. And then one of the things we always do on the show is, can it pass the run test? I will listen to every album we listen to on one of my runs, and if it makes my tempo slower, then it makes me angry. This one did not make my tempo slower. There were points where I'm like, hell yeah, I just got some extra speed. I got an extra sprint in me. I got to start skanking because it's like, oh, I got a little ska vibes going on. So I hit the street. My neighbors will think I'm out of my mind if they don't already. I mean, they look at me most of the time like, dude, it's 105. What the fuck are you running for? I'm like, it's not gonna tonight, so I may as well just get out there and do it. So yes, pass the run test, pass the fun test. It, even my daughter, who's normally got the headphones on and doesn't participate, she heard one song, she takes her headphones off, she's like, ooh, what's that? So the whole house was feeling one. So you got to love that, because Dash is saying his kids, his wife, and it was the same thing, because it's I can, as I'm listening to it, I can start picking and peeling. Okay, I hear a bit of this, I hear a bit of that, I hear Gogo Bordello all through it, I hear Flogging Molly in pieces of it.
Yes, Flogging Molly.
I can find all the bits and pieces that connect with other music, but then it's just a portion of a song, and it takes a complete 180 and flips and turns, and it's kind of like they need to become the Balkan Gorillas and just be like, all right, here we're going to bring in all these people, and we're going to bring in guest rappers and guest stars, and they can the new Gorillas and make their whole like cartoon empire. They can do it. All right, so you can give us, Matt, since even though you know and love this album, what were your overall thoughts? Thinking back to when you first played it, what were your overall thoughts with this one?
So, as much as I love Trollfest, and the guys know, there are some albums where like I'll like a song here, I'll like a song there, but there's some songs that I'll skip over to get to ones that I like a little more than others. Mm-hmm. This album, I feel like you've got 9 songs in a row that I'm just like, I could listen to them at different times. Obviously, I've got there's some specific memories around them. There's some things we can talk specifically about some of the songs, especially if you guys haven't gone back and watched any of the music videos. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that in a little bit, because you're going to get a whole different experience out of the band at that point. But I just felt like they found it. I feel like they wrote it, and they could probably correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think they wrote it over COVID, so they had a lot of time on their hands and a lot of time to focus on writing a really good album that was really well put together. And then when everybody came out of COVID, it was just like they just wanted to have fun and be as stupid and as ridiculous as they ever could possibly be. And the Flamingo thing, they never intended on it being as long of a thing as it's been, but it just is kind of keeps on going. And they're like, we have to write another album. We have to do something different. We can't be the Flamingos on the next album because every album's got a different theme. Yeah. But COVID and having this elongated stretch has kind of helped to be able to let this album marinate and get into different corners of the world like it has.
Yeah. I understand that.
The Flamingos can kind of become like the Parrot Heads with actual good music attached to it. So
agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
We've discussed
no Parrot Heads.
In the past my thoughts on Jimmy Buffett, and may the Flamingos eat all the parrots. That's all I can say.
Flamingo Heads.
Yeah, so I mean, if I piss off a Jimmy Buffett fan, they're going to be too old to take it anyway. I'm not worried. All right, so now
they're in Margaritaville anyway, so
they're too wasted to give a fuck. So it's all right. So now we hit our best songs. We like to talk about what songs grabbed us through this and kind of give our thoughts on why they grabbed us. Hit some couch metaphors if we get a chance. All right, so Dash, what song grabbed you? What's one of the first ones that got you?
I mean, I'm right there with Matt. I think you got 9 great songs in a row where you could literally just it's hard to say which one is the best. But for me, All Drinks on Me, it's a fun song. It's probably the second song on there, but it you come right out of Dance Like a Pink Flamingo, so you go into a pirate song. It's great. Again, I like Flamingo Libre, Pina Colada. the Flamingo. All of these are fun songs, and like I said, not one of them are sound the same or do the same thing. You have stories with every one of them, and I love it. So I guess All Drinks on Me is going to be the tops of the album for me on this one. So that's the best song, followed by Pina Colada, Flamingo Libre. All of those are great songs.
Yeah, and see, I thought it was the same thing where it was hard to pick one particular song because sometimes you're listening to an album and then one just grows and grabs you. But I liked All Drinks on Me. I said it's what it would sound like if Flogging Molly met Weird Al in a bar on a pirate ship and decided to record a song together. So that was my thought on that one.
That's a beautiful.
I can tell you a quick note about All Drinks on Me. If you've ever heard of the band Corpaclani, their vocalist actually does a guest spot in the middle of that song, and Corpaclani is very folk piratey sounding in what they do. So that's probably why that has a little more of that. Yeah, for me, as a metalhead, as somebody that loves stuff that is just unrelenting, the Flamingo Gorilla is the song that, like, if I'm like, oh, I want to hear the song, they go completely nuts. Drekadag goes completely insane on the sax on that one, like playing like blast beat rhythms on the sax is nuts to me. All Drinks on Me in a live show, definitely, like if I'm in the car, if you put that song on, it's always going to make you happy. Live, both times my daughter has now been able to see Trollfest. When that song is playing, that's literally the song that we're like looking at each other, like screaming it in each other's faces as we both consider like our song. So like, and then Dance Like a Pink Flamingo, that song, I was telling you guys about this a little bit before we went live. That song is what actually broke them into some of the weirdest places in the world because they actually got to compete in the Norwegian qualifiers for the Eurovision contest, and it's on Norwegian national TV. And they played the song Dance Like a Pink Flamingo in their full-on flamingo outfits, and I'm pretty sure that the Norwegian government had to subsidize making them the really extreme blown out versions of it because it was going to be on nationwide TV. We watched the competition live. They got completely robbed by some pop singer or whatever it was, as you would expect. But they literally got in front of the national audience and it became like the darlings of that competition. And so that, I think, helped the Flamingos to become such a big deal. And then Pina Colada, every time they play Pina Colada live, and it's funny you bring up the cruise because there's a cruise called 70,000 Tons of Metal. And they tried to have the longest conga line in the history of a cruise ship. But every time, even when they play at a local show, the bassist jumps off stage and leads the conga line, and the entire crowd is doing a giant conga line through the bathrooms, through wherever they can get to in the building at the show. So just all around, tons of fun. The video for 20 Miles an Hour, if you haven't gone and seen it, you guys need, when this is done, you need to go onto YouTube and go pull up the video and say full album, and it pulls up all the videos they have. The video for 20 Miles an Hour just shows you the kind of humor and just complete stupidity that fuels these guys in the best of ways.
Yeah. And I mean, if you see this album, it's going to be humorous. It's not taking itself seriously. If you tried to write this material and take it seriously, it's going to fail. I mean, great musicianship aside, you have to just play into the whimsy of it, and they do. So yeah, I think, let me see, what are some of the other ones I picked? I thought Dance Like a Pink Flamingo, the great thing about that was it just lets you know what you're in for. Like, okay, this is going to be a wild ride. It's a little metal, a little punk, and a whole lot of fun insanity. And that's the one, because I had a student teacher this year, and she got to hear all kinds of my weird music, and she would hear the stuff for the show, and she heard that. She's like, oh my gosh, that is so good. I'm going to play that for my brother. So it's kind of like it caught her, and she's the one next week that the album we're listening to was her recommendation, because we'll do everything, including a Spanish love album. We're there. We do not say no. I mean, I'm hoping I can find people who speak Spanish to come on and kind of decipher the lyrics with us, but Google Translate.
We have Lorena. We have Lorena. She'll be able to.
Lorena will be our expert in the lyrics, because that one, yeah, it's our first non-English album, although we did an instrumental album. Someone requested an instrumental album, and I happen to love a lot of different instrumental bands, so we grabbed that. But yeah, Spanish love album, that's next week for us. But yeah, I love how it starts. You know, you know what you're in for. Yeah. All Drinks on Me. I love that one. Like 20 miles an hour. Like I said, I thought these guys could be the new cartoon gorillas if they want to fully continue leaning into the flamingo thing. Like, oh crap, we've created a monster and now we're stuck with it. And then Flamingo Gorilla. As I'm hearing that song, all I think of is Doofenshmirtz. It sounds like Doofenshmirtz is singing the song, and that's the whole time I'm hearing it, I'm like, behold, and it's like it's Doofenshmirtz singing it all. It's like, man. And I watched every episode of Phineas and Ferb with my kids. It's like the greatest kids show. And the whole time I'm hearing that, like, damn, Doofenshmirtz, they need to actually get Doofenshmirtz and play this song as one of the Phineas and Ferb little songs when they reboot the season, because yes, Doofenshmirtz could sing this. He could make an inator to make someone into a flamingo gorilla. Like, behold, the flamingo rater. You'll become the flamingo gorilla and destroy Phineas and Ferb. And it's like, oh yes, I had this. I listened to that.
You did it.
Like, yes.
Hey, listen, that's why I got such. That's why I got such. Probably They Might Be Giant, because all these songs would be good in a if you had an animated movie soundtrack or something of that nature. That's where you have fun with it. But and again, I could turn around and throw this on in the gym and get just as good a workout if I was listening to something else. That's why all the dash tests were passed in this one, and that's hard to. I mean, we rarely had an album pass all the dash tests, but I loved it. Yeah, I loved it, man. And you're right. It started off. We talk about this every time we're on this show. To get us, or at least to get us in the mood on an album, you got to have a great opening song, and that was a great opening song that gets you in the mood to go the rest of the album. This is not no Joe Walsh. This is not no Kate Bush. This is spot on. Perfect.
Yeah, because we talk about it a lot. The opening song will make and break if you want to actually continue listening, because especially with this show, we have to play the whole thing, like it or not. But in my regular life, if you can't get me on song one, I'm not even going to have the needle on it. I'm going to press skip on Spotify, and it's going to say, oh, he doesn't like that artist, and now I won't have to hear him again. But yeah, this one, it's, the needle's dropped, and from the moment it drops to the moment you flip it and finish it, you're in the vibe. And then let me see, one of the other ones, this was my wife's note. She's The Way You Earn Your Drink. She said, oh, it sounds like The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson put through the filter of an 8-bit video game. So I was like,
yes.
So I said, all right, I'm writing that down. We're keeping that one. So yeah, we were enjoying it. The whole house enjoyed this one. And yeah, we will not have any angry flamingos, even though I've been marked as a suspect because I wanted to jettison him into space, throw him in Katy Perry's, travel bag.
No, I think you redeemed yourself.
Paul Banker can also be, an astronaut, just like all the other astronauts that exist in our world now, because everyone's an astronaut. All right, so now we got to dig in. Now this, honestly, I'll have the hardest time with best lyrics, because these lyrics are so over the top and silly that it's like, what are the best lyrics? But I will instead look at the lyrics that give respect and praise to the Flamingo Overlord the best. All right, so Dash, what lyrics did you find in this that gave the proper homage to our Flamingo Overlord?
It's hard to pick, like you said. This is one of those where every bit of every one of the choruses. So I could sit there and I could list off every chorus or read them up. But I'm telling you, because we talked about this last week or was it last week or the week before when we were talking about the chorus, and there just was some not so catchy chorus. No, I think it was The Bad Company. But with this one, you're just jamming with every chorus. You know, I mean, let's pull up. We'll pull up. Not that one I want. All drinks on me. And let's go. And one of the, I mean, I just love this because again, you're getting into it, but this is not the chorus. But now I don't want to drink wine by myself. No, I wouldn't rather have a glass with you from the top shelf. Now I don't want to drink my beer alone because I've got something cool to tell you. I don't want to feel like a greedy person, so I say, hey, Heidi ho, all drinks on me. This is, you know, I spent 23 years in the military. This would be one of those songs where if we're overseas or whatnot, we'd be sitting in one of the local bars, and this would be the song that we would all be singing because it has that. I get that camaraderie feel out of the lyrics in the chorus. It's probably why it's my favorite song because I do feel that camaraderie. And then let me pull up Pina Colada because that was another one of my.
Yes, that song tells you all the drinks they don't want. They want Pina Colada.
All the drinks in the history of drinks.
Yes, they name them all, and I'm like, now I want a Pina Colada. I don't drink, but I'll take a virgin one, and that shit will taste good.
I don't want a beer. I don't want a whiskey. I don't want tequila. I'm drinking Pina Colada all day. I just you get it. It's not like they're heartfelt or heart-wrenching lyrics or anything like that, but you feel it. You're like, no, I don't. You know what? This is what I'm drinking today. I don't want a beer. I don't want whiskey. I don't want tequila. I just want a Pina Colada. No Campari. No sangria. Yeah, I just dig that. And then one of my I like how it starts. And air declare for infest gusta. I don't know what that means, but I loved it. It was freaking awesome. And then it may have been something weird out there, but no polar bear, no fireball, none of the drinks. I just thought that's why Pina Colada was my second favorite. I just enjoyed every bit of the lyrics. It's fun, and then you can go into Flamingo again. That is one. I just love the chorus. I just love the chorus on it, and I don't need to go because everybody else is going to talk about that one. But I did my two. Yeah. So there you go.
All right. So let's see. Let me see. The first one where it's right from the opening track. The world is a ripe disgrace with all the selfish whim. Like parasites we infest, bleed all resources dry because we must be respectful that the flamingos now run this planet and they are the ones, but we can still dance and we can still have fun. We can still have a Pina Colada. And then let's see. Who can I call when the masses make noise? The Flamingo Rilla. So yes, he's your enforcer. And I just think we have writers in this room, we have comic creators, and we need to create the comic book for this because it could be a fun wild ride. They can sell it at their merch booth, and yes, it would be a blast. So I don't know, Matt, you know them best. You got to tell them, all right, we need to make this into a comic series because I want to see the Flamingo Rilla punishing the masses, knocking on doors, not letting us come in. So let's see.
I'm surprised they haven't animated because I know that Espen, Mr. Seidel, John Espen, he does some videos when he has time. He does some animated stuff, and they've got some really, really bizarre animated videos. So I'm surprised that the Flamingo Gorilla is one that they have no video for.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song, I will tell you this. When they came out with this album, my first thought was, this is going to be interesting because if you ranked my top 20 animals, I don't think that the flamingo is going to be in there. I'm like, not like, yay, I can't wait for an album about flamingos because I'm but then also I'm not a drinker, never drank in my entire life.
Right,
so
right.
To get me as a non-drinker to be singing bar songs about all drinks being on me and screaming it at my underage kid, you've done a good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite as a lyricist, I agree with Dash. I think my favorite lyrics on this album are the Flamingo Gorilla because it's a song where the Overlord is talking about how to suppress the masses. Every Overlord from time to time encounter pesky irritants that must be moved out of the way. But no Overlord wants to get his hands dirty, so he should create a militant brute. Who can I call to make the masses make noise? What can I use to suppress and silence? How to induce complacent apathy? How to reduce the resistance mutterings? But then he goes into the ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
First, he should establish a bureaucratic front line, a circular swamp with never-ending forms, to scatter all the rebels and drain them to death. And for the few that make it through, he has a plan for that too. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that Jostein Trollmannen rates these lyrics, and you can tell that this guy, the personality he has as a human being, is exactly what you get in the lyrics and vice versa. So you see that kind of silliness? That's exactly who he is in real life, and it really shows through.
Yeah, and you can tell with the interview. I mean, we just went back and forth with the most ridiculous things, and they were right there, right in on the joke. And yeah, you can't, if you take yourself too seriously, you wouldn't want to even touch this album. But yeah, it's beautiful. And yeah, I had some of those same lyrics. So let me see if I had any ones. Let's see. So I think I had the same ones that you had. The establish a bureaucratic front line. So yeah, it's funny because if you wanted to examine this album and actually take it metaphorically to talk about tyrannical governments, you could write it all in a different way. Or you could just say it's a blast of fun. But yeah, if you want to overanalyze things like the English major and me would love to do, I could present this album to a class and be like, okay, how does this match the regimes of the, fill in the blank? Because we don't go political here ever. But yeah, you could take it in a weird place and make it an actual, deep thought metaphorical album about political injustice. But I just think it's a fun romp. I'm going to stick with that surface level. And you kind of know the band, so I would hope that they're not trying to make deep political statements. But if they are, props to them, because they picked flamingos to make their political statements, and everyone's gonna miss that mark.
If I was teaching a creative writing class, this is the album that I would have as one of my topics that we discuss, because this is the epitome of creative writing these lyrics and being creative. And that was one of the things that I loved about my professor, was they pulled in different, just wild things to use instead of the normal, normal books or normal albums. This is one that I would use. So
yeah, that would be fun. All right. So any other lyrics you want to showcase before we move to our next category?
No, I think we hit
all right. So any songs to skip? So Dash, any skippers on this one?
I don't think there's any ones that I would lift the needle off of per se on this album. There's a couple that are not my favorite, and I don't mean that as in a negative tone, because I do enjoy the entire album. But yeah, again, it's like and I don't want to get a warning or get pecked on the head by a flamingo. But I just I could, not that it was a bad song. I didn't get in the Overlords Have Feelings as much as I did the rest of the album. And that's probably really the only one that I would probably just say that I was there. I heard it, I liked it, but it was the only one where I was like, okay, it's a good song, but get me back to The Way You Earn Your Drinks. Get me back to Flamingo Gorilla. Get me stuff that. But I'm not skipping any. I'm going to listen to this over. I'll listen to the entire album over and over and over again and not have any issues and be like, oh, I got to get ready to skip. So nope, I don't skip any on this album at all.
Okay. So this is April's skip. We're sitting on the couch, and when we got to Bob Winka, she was saying, oh, this one's going on a little bit too long. So my wife disparaged this, and I apologized to Bob Winka. She did not mean those words. The song, along with Bob Winka, are great. Please spare her life, and we shall send you offerings of shrimp and pina coladas. Oh, great one.
Absolutely.
for me, I think I kind of go in the same light where to me, I could sit there and listen through the first 7 songs on the album over and over on repeat, driving on a long drive without an issue. Get to the last couple songs, and like you said, it's not that they're bad songs; they're just not as favorite to me as the first 7. So that's kind of where I go. Once you get to Pina Colada, I'm like, man, that was a pretty fun ride, and also knowing the way those things are on their videos, knowing the way those things are live, my mind is like, just go back and relive those things that you remember from the video here or the the live show here kind of thing of the first 7 songs.
Yeah, so I agree. I think the last 2 would be the skippers, but there's nothing bad enough where you would actually skip it. You let it play, but it opens so strong that it's hard to say, okay, we're gonna say it's perfect. It's not perfect, It's I would give it, the 4-star album. If we're doing it 4 out of 5, it's definitely 4.5, I'd say. But yeah, not perfect. I don't think we've reviewed a perfect album because there's always something that you would want to change. So now we move into a category that should be quite simple. And if we vote wrong, we're gonna have flamingo shit all over our windows. So there's only one choice on this. We're
All right,
gonna
well, hold on real quick
or return it to the used bin.
Before you do this, I just want to make sure you guys know everybody in Trollfest is now watching you. They're watching to see what your decision is. All eyes on you.
Yes, and Bob Winka right there is also watching us.
This is too easy. This is a 4.5-star album for me. It stays. Again, I said at the beginning of the show, this is one of the best albums I've heard. It takes a lot for me to give a 5-star to any album. There are hardly any 5-star albums, in my opinion. I'm like the Rolling Stones and the Pitchfork today, so I had to give it a 0.5 because it is so good. If whether you need to go to the gym, whether you need to get ready for a run, whether you're ready just to sit down and listen, or you're ready to dance around your house and tango to Pina Colada or stand on one leg and dance like a flamingo. This is the album to do it, and it's fun. I love every minute of it. I'm glad that we got to. I'm glad, Matt, that you brought this one up again, because we could sit there and listen to the same old albums over and over and over again and never be able to experience such great creators that are out there. I would have never have known of these people. And so that's what I love about this show, that we get to experience great albums like this. So keeping it's going to the front of the line with Elf and some of the other that we've done. So good job. And thanks for picking this one, Matt.
I appreciate that. So I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to put it in the Facebook chat, and I'm going to put it in the YouTube notes. I keep telling you guys that you should go to YouTube and look at the album in video form, because you say full album and it's going to pull up the videos and different things like that. And Dance Like a Pink Flamingo is actually their performance from the Norwegian qualifiers for Eurovision, and it's got the other videos in there. And I would say to anybody that's watching this, you want to go listen or watch the video versions of it as well, because if the album is fun, watching the videos makes it even that much more fun, and you get to see that much more of a silly side to the band. Obviously, I'm keeping this thing for many, many reasons. It is one of my top albums of the last few years, and I think that even if you're not a fan of metal and you're just a fan of original albums, you're not going to get much more original than a band from Norway using Balkan rhythms, using melodies on the accordion and the saxophone, playing it in pink flamingo outfits and live shows. I don't think you can get much more original than that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm keeping this one as well. It's kind of an easy one. There's only one album that we're giving to Lori to destroy, and this is not one of them. So, Lori, you can't have this one. You can't have one of your crazy weapons. So, yes, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I appreciate getting new stuff. That's the reason I picked this show, and the reason I picked Dash, because I saw his wall, and he's always giving new music a shot. So it was nice to have that, someone who's open-minded, because you could get someone closed-minded, because there's plenty of people I know that say, oh, the only good music stopped when I was in high school or something like that. And it's like, all right, open your mind.
Nonsense.
You're just wasting your life if you don't want to find new music that's good, because there's plenty of good stuff out there. And that's our mission on this show, is to find the good stuff. And yeah, we have, like I said, this sequence that we picked is a lot of other people's choices. And will we love them all? I don't know. Maybe not. Am I going to love Spanish love songs? That's yet to be determined, because that brings us to our next segment. Next week, Juanes, Mi Sangre. This is going... will it break me? I don't know. I've almost been broken multiple times, but will this be the one that finally destroys me? It's not from the 70s, so I mean, at least we have that. But Joe Walsh almost did it. Kate Bush almost did it. Will Juanes be the one that finally destroys my psyche, and I'll just mumble and let Dash do all the talking? I don't know.
This is one where I will say I am not. I would make a coffee bet, but I'm not sure I'm ready to lose the one I already won.
I still got to get your coffee. That's right.
That's what I will say. I will say that I would make a coffee bet on this one. I've listened to it already.
Okay.
I've listened to it already. So I'm not going to spoil anything other than that. But I will just say that I'm not. I would make a coffee bet, but this one has to be a little worried. I will say that.
Okay, so you're not as confident on this one. All right, we'll see.
Yeah.
And this one, like I said, this one came from my student teacher, so she recommended this one, and I don't know. We'll see. I am always open-minded, but when I dislike something, I start making nasty comments in my notes, and they get progressively meaner as I go along. And sometimes I don't even read how mean I get, and sometimes I do. And yeah, that's when we get yelled at by random internet people.
As long as we don't get a Kate Bush fan on this one, because we might not be able to. We might not be able to overcome if we get a Kate Bush on this one.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, because I remember the memes that say, like, ska music is the soundtrack in every 10-year-old boy's head. But I'm going to have to say something. Trollfest is the actual soundtrack in every 10-year-old boy's head.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
So, yeah, they say ska music, and it is too, because, I mean, yeah, every 10-year-old boy's got a ska song in their head. But Trollfest is the entire album that's in every 10-year-old boy's head. And I say it over and over again. We're all 10-year-old boys in rotting flesh, so enjoy it, you know?
If Uncle Swifty was here, I think he would join me in saying that every 10-year-old has the Eagle song in their head.
No, they don't. only the sad ones whose fathers made them listen to shitty music.
I had to get my Eagle shot into this.
Yeah, shot. I will disparage the Eagles till my dying day. Fuck them.
Wow.
Right. Wow. So. And Matt, you can just stay out of this one, because I'm
going to let you guys battle this one out. I'm going to have no opinion.
Yeah, you've stumbled into an ongoing debate.
I'm going to go hide behind a folding gorilla right now and let you guys duke it out.
All right, but Matt, you have a Kickstarter. Drop that link and let's talk about it.
All right, good. Let me. So where do you want me to put it here? Let's throw the link in the.
Because when you come on this
even
show,
Miss Davis backs me up.
Nah, you know what?
Even Miss Davis backs me up.
I'm the only reason she listens to good music, so.
We listen to yacht rock. We know good music. We know good music.
Matt's like, you go on, you two. All right, so I
just threw it in the Facebook chat. I threw it in the YouTube chat.
I'm gonna grab it from there. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Because as we've also established on this show, my eyesight is the worst, so I have to pull squint mode, and I hate doing that. But I'm going to pull it up right now, and then I'm going to let you share it and tell us all about it. Because, if you come on this show, it's not only to talk music. That's where we start, and then we end. I want to hear what you have, because I will be backing it. I back all your stuff. I'm not going to make that change yet. I just haven't yet, but I will be, because anyone who knows should know it's always worth your time to back Matt and In Symmetry Creations. You will get good stuff. I got a full bundle coming for my class, for next year's class. I'm so excited to share it. I have already told the librarian and some of the other lower grade teachers that we're going to have a kid-friendly comic book coming out. Street cred up to 10 for me, so the other teachers can feel jealous that they don't have comic creators sending them cool stuff. But let me pull this up now.
So, Ed, did I tell you that your quote actually made it onto the back cover of the Misfits Clubhouse book?
No, that's amazing. See,
So
now I got my street cred just went up to fucking 12.
You're literally going to be able to walk into your classroom and you're going to say, "Look, you guys, I wanted to get street cred with my third grade classroom," and is literally a quote on the back of the book. You can be like, "This is about you guys, so we're going to help your street cred to go up 46.3% more."
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I have so much street cred, I will barely be able to fit into the classroom now. My ego is huge. It's inflated, and I'm happy about it. So let me pull this up, and then I will share it, and you can tell us all about what is going on with your newest project. It does not look like one for my students, but you can tell me about it. So
let me say this. It isn't because it's a third grade classroom, but it definitely is still one that could be all right. So this is Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress. This is a brand new series from Steph and I at Symmetry Creations. We are super excited about this. Imagine Pirates of the Caribbean and the live action One Piece meeting your favorite martial arts heroine. That is Tatsumi. Nice. We have got a lot of great new merchandise in here. We've got, we always are known for our socks, for the shirts that we do. And I don't know if you want to play the video. The video, it was not going to hit you on YouTube. It's only 90 seconds long. You won't get dinged on YouTube for it because I wrote the music last weekend. So.
Nice. So let's make sure it plays. Last time we had problems with the volume, so let's see how this works. Tell me if you can hear it, because last time we didn't. It looks great. Yeah, I definitely will be a backer. I haven't yet, but you know I'm always there to back. So
we just launched this yesterday. We are at $18.99, which means we are about $1,600 away from minimum funding. This is a story we've wanted to tell for a long time. We've known we were going to tell Tatsumi's story since before we actually released the I Am Keto one-shot fantasy horror graphic novel. Spoiler alert for those that have not read I Am Keto. Tatsumi is a character in that story. Her kingdom that she's a part of, the Yamaran Empire, gets completely overrun and obliterated by this post-human, think kind of vampiric, kind of zombie-like group, the Dark Conquestors and their accomplices, the Soul Rippers. And she ends up being the last surviving member of the Yamaran Empire. She has basically sworn retribution and revenge against this group, but she also knows that she's one person and she just saw the entire kingdom get obliterated by this force. So she knows that even though she's got retribution and revenge on her mind, she can't go do anything about it by herself. She's never been outside the Yamaran Empire. She hops in a little fishing boat and sails into the Serpent Sea to see what she can find out there in the sea. As you can see from the campaign video and in the campaign, she gets picked up by a pirate ship, the Side Stalker, And the story, especially in issue 1, is seeing, is there a relationship that can develop between this, or is this going to be a confrontational relationship, or is there something else more to it? We're having a lot of fun with this story. It's our first time where we've got a really strong, unquestioned female lead. We've had ensemble stories, we've had male leads in ensembles, but we haven't had a strong female lead yet. And so we're super excited that we get to tell this story. The art for issue 1 is done. We're still in the coloring process, but the art's done. We are halfway through issue 2. Steph and I are going to be starting the work on issue 3 very soon. So this is definitely not something where you're going to get one issue and then be like a year down the line and go like, oh, maybe we might start another one. Mm-hmm. We definitely have a plan. We know where the arc is going to go, and really, really excited about this. We still are. You just had the early birds that you just passed there. The first 40 physical backers get a logo sticker. And if you are a backer in the first 48 hours, which ends sometime late tomorrow morning, everybody's name is going to go into a drawing, and you'll have an opportunity to get a prototype shirt. Why is it a prototype? It's because when we got the designs, they didn't look exactly how we wanted them to on the shirts. And so instead of mass producing those shirts, we can still give them away. And you know what? You'll have yourself a collectible that only like 5 people are going to have. So every name will go in there. If you're a physical backer, you automatically get it. If you're a digital backer, you can upgrade to physical and still get it, because we want to be able to have you guys take care of the shipping. But that's where we're at with the early birds. We've got a ton of super cool stuff, metal covers. We have I Am Keto involved in here as well, if you want to be able to get the prequel to the story. We have 2 new pairs of socks, 2 new shirts in here. We brought back our glow-in-the-dark Soul Ripper shirt as well for the campaign. We do have other stuff that's going to get re-released, or not released, other stuff that's going to be released in the campaign coming up soon. Our leather workers from GB Leatherworks that always do a lot of custom leather work for us have got some cool things that we're going to be unveiling here very soon. We can't wait to get them involved. They always do things that'll theme directly to what our titles are. And there's a couple of things they created exclusively just for Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress, and we can't wait to show you guys.
Nice. Yes. Back this. You guys, it looks great. You can see that as we looked through it. The video shows you what you're looking at. Matt always brings good stuff. Matt and Steph, I've read plenty of theirs. I don't know the last time I didn't back one of their projects, and I always highly recommend it. And it's not just because he's on the show. If you looked at my backer history, you would see I back them all. So
Cover C is my favorite, by the way. Cover C is my favorite.
You like Cover C? So Cover C is by Chess and Gwyn. That is the sister duo that writes the Bohemian Trials manga. I think this is the 7th cover that we've had them collab with us on. But this is also the first time that we've taken the art from one of their covers and turned it into merch. You've got the Water Mistress shirt and Water Mistress socks, and they freaked out when they saw that, because they were like, holy crap, our art's going to be on some in-sim merch other than the covers and things like that. Now they're super, super excited about that. So, we hope you guys are too. We got poker chips. We do poker chips as well. So you got the Fool's Gold packs. It's got poker chips as well. With the little emblems, we do poker chips. There's even a Bruce McTutherson poker chip from Misfits Clubhouse that we just did.
Nice.
It's become a thing that we do to have poker chips to get them out there. So now this is the 5th and 6th poker chip that we've done. So there's a whole set that you can get the other 4 in the add-ons as well.
Yeah,
nice. I love it.
Looks great. We can play a game of poker soon with just in Symmetry Creation chips.
That's exactly right.
Yes, we'll play the game while playing a little bit of Trollfest in the background. And drinking, for Matt and I can say for all 3 of us, virgin pina coladas, but
yes, virgin
we
pinas.
can still enjoy the flavor without it getting ruined by that shitty alcohol.
That's right.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I appreciate the kind words about the campaign. I hope you guys will go out there and you'll back this thing. We all know that the economy right now is tough. We know the economy is tough for you guys, but especially as creators it's really tough to be able to not just fund these things, but to fund it at a level that is going to help us to be able to continue to do these things. So any support you can lend, whether it's a $5 PDF or getting a large pack or $1 to just spread the word, everything is appreciated.
Yeah, like it, share it, and if you can't afford a book, a PDF, you give $1. Every dollar helps get closer to keeping these issues going. So what's the planned amount of issues that you're going to do for this one?
Right now, we, in general, have a plan for this arc to be 5 issues. We know exactly where we want to be coming into the 4th, 5th issue. We'll see where that goes. Heirs of Isildur and the Perilous Prospects we thought was going to be a 3-issue arc. It ended up being 5 because the third part, as we constructed it, just needed a lot more room to be able to breathe. We don't think that's what's going to happen here. The one thing we will say is, other than what we normally do within Sim, and Sim normally with Heirs, hey, it's a 44-page perfect bound book, 48-page perfect bound book. This one, we are forcing ourselves, and when I say we, myself and Steph, because I'm the one that has the problem with it, are forcing ourselves to make sure these stay as comic-sized issues.
Yeah.
That way, the expense to create it is less. That way, we can get them out quicker, and then that way we can make sure we know that we have got elongated story points there, but also some good fun set pieces that happen in the issue as well. And you know you're going to get some every few pages.
Yeah, and because hardcovers, I mean, I know I've produced hardcovers. They are no joke. And right now, you can still tell your story without breaking the bank. So that's the way to do it. All right. Well, we are going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for coming on, Matt. Thank you for this recommendation. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. So anyone out there
thanks, Matt,
who has recommendations that are not related to Yacht Rock, we'll hear them. Your Yacht Rock recommendations will be treated like my email and ignored. So
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And guys at Trollfest, I hope you guys appreciated being able to get some new ears onto what you guys do and get you guys into some new different corners of the country over here on this side of the coast. And I look forward to the guest spots you're going to give me on the next album.
Yes, yeah, he deserves one.
That's right. There you go. Good pitch. Good pitch.
Yes.
Good pitch.
There we go. All right, so going to play a few of our sponsor ads, and then we will wrap things up for good. So we have 3 ads to play. Let's check out our first one. All right, so our next ad by Mr. Fish Lee. You know his stuff is good, so check it out.
Beyond the world we know is a place where reality bends and time stands still. A place where legends, fairy tales, and nightmares are real. A world where legends are born and destinies collide. Alice has spent her life lost in an interdimensional rift known as Wonderland, and it forged her into a deadly bounty hunter. With her ancient clockwork guardian Big Ten by her side, they hunt the things that stalk the shadows of Wonderland. Alice Lost in Wonderland, issues 1 and 2 launch May 6 on Kickstarter. Follow along at GoMrFish.com.
All right, and I know he's still live, so definitely check it out while you get a chance. I'm a backer. I recommend you do the same. And our final sponsor ad, let's check it out. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Don't miss next week, Juanes, where Dash is still debating that coffee bet. I'm going to end up sending him stacks of coffee cards before you know it. I'm going to be fueling all his caffeine. So, Juanes, mi sangre. It's going to be epic, and I will try not to lose my mind. I always do. Sometimes I fail. But I'm wearing a freaking flamingo hat today, so it's too late for me. All right. So, Matt, thank you once again for joining us. Thank you for this recommendation. Get his book. You will not regret it. I guarantee you. I got street cred. It's, you want street cred.
You do have street cred.
Only way you get street cred is if you buy his books. And don't distribute this one to third graders, but distribute it to kids because kids need to read comic books. So, Matt, thank you so much. Trollfest, thank you. If you watch this, thank you so much for contributing.
Thank you, Trollfest.
These interview questions. It was so much fun. I enjoyed your album. I'm so pissed. They toured and hit California like right before I actually discovered the album. I missed them by weeks. So next time you're in California, pina coladas are on me. So yes, thank you so much, and we will see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic.